IEEE 802.11. So the IEEE is an acronym for Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It was formed way back in 1963. Now, they're a group of scientists, engineers, and allied professionals who together are the leading authority in aerospace, telecommunications, biomedical engineering, electrical power, etc., etc. The IEEE is separated, however, into various committees. So the 802 Committee develops local area network, or LAN standards, as well as Metropolitan Area Network Standards, or MAN standards. The IEEE 802.11 is a set of wireless LAN standards developed by the IEEE Working Group 11 in 1997. The 802.11 family consists of a series of standards and amendments, but I'll explain the main and the widely accepted ones. So first we have the original IEEE 802.11 standard released in 1997, and it defined the rates of 1 or 2 megabits per second on 2.4 gigahertz band. Then 802.11b standards were created in 1999. It'll provide 5.5 and 11 megabits per second rates on the 2.4 gigahertz band. Now, come on, they're only just getting started. The IEEE 802.11a, that was released around the same time as 802.11b. 802.11a uses the 5 gigahertz band. Now, the 5 gigahertz band has way more channels that are available, and they do not overlap like those in the 2.4 gigahertz band. So then, moving through 2003, IEEE 802.11g was introduced and extended throughput to up to 54 megabits per second using the same bandwidth as 802.11b. And it just so happens it's backward compatible with IEEE 802.11b. Now, IEEE 802.11i is an amendment to the original IEEE 802.11. It implemented Wi-Fi Protected Access 2, or WPA2, released in 2004. So the standard specifies security mechanisms for wireless networks. Then they were able to deprecate the Wired Equivalent Privacy, or WEP, because it had security vulnerabilities. So then in 2004, work began on IEEE 802.11n, and that increased transfer speeds and provided more range on 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz networks. So that brings us to 2009, when the final release of 802.11n was completed. So IEEE 802.11n is an amendment, and it builds on previous 802.11 standards by adding multiple input, multiple output, or MIMO, right? MIMO is a form of antenna technology that uses multiple antennas to enable signals traveling via different paths as a result of reflections and all the other types of interference. They can be now separated, and their capability is used to improve the data throughput and/or the signal-to-noise ratio, thereby improving system performance.